So a lot of things were catching my attention while I was reading the Epistle of Paul, the Apostle, to the Hebrews on page 1066 of my Bible. So I wanted to look into things. I will study, and what happens, happens. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. So, first, the fathers is interesting to me, as I believe it came up before in reading, maybe Acts or something. So who are the fathers? Are they a specific group? I can't pinpoint as to why that strikes me. I mean, this doesn't strike me so much that God revealed himself to the through prophets. But who are the fathers specifically? So this is quite a search. I don't know if it will reveal much to me. I don't know yet. Typing in fathers into the King James Version has 514 results. In Genesis, and thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. Jacob is told to return unto the land of thy fathers and thy kindred. So, fathers, from what I judge, is kind of a reference to ancestry and heritage, particularly the male or the patriarchal side of the family. I suppose I'm just pointing out that the Bible uses this language in reference to what the fathers as a word actually means. You know, it's talking about the fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. This is still Genesis, but you know, there's an Exodus story with Moses, and even Abraham. There's a type of promised land story. There is Moses and the Exodus story, and it has reference to the God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? This one is interesting, and I'll just read it. And God said moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. So, could the fathers even be like Isaac, Jacob, Abraham, in terms of heritage or ancestry, and then you have a memorial unto all generations. So it's speaking of fathers in terms of, history. So it seems that there was a promise made unto the fathers from the Lord, the land of milk and honey and all that. Here you have an instance of the fathers trespassing. This was neat how it goes by book. So in the New Testament, fathers appears 57 times, the most in Acts, which supports what I said in the intro to this video. And in the Gospels, it appears not very much, and Mark isn't even appearing here. These I'd like to look at. Alright, so I clicked on Matthew. It sort of comes up first in Matthew chapter 23, so towards the end. And to really understand this chapter would be to read the whole thing, which is hard to do. But it's talking, well, Jesus is talking to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, "The scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. And therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not." They're hypocrites, basically. And I read this, but I won't read it into the video, so I might want to read this later if I'm rewatching it. "And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven." So here's Jesus talking, and really I'm choosing my words, the real Father is in heaven. This is interesting because Jesus is cursing the scribes and Pharisees in these verses. So I will read it into the video. It looks like the cursing of the scribes and Pharisees stops here, and then the next line is, "And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them," I think that's scribes and Pharisees, "in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers." And he calls them, "Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell?" Blue Letter Bible pronounces scribes as grammatus.
Strong grammatus. Grammatus.
Grammatus. And Pharisaios.
Pharisaios. Pharisaios.
Anyway, looking back at New Testament examples of fathers, I'll go to John first. John 4:20, "Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship." So I'm reading that out of context. "Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead." "Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man." So the fathers seems to come up a lot with Moses. Looking at Luke. "And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, and to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. As he spake to our fathers, to Abraham, and to his seed forever, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant. Rejoice ye in the day, and leap for joy. Behold, your reward is great in heaven, for in the like manner did the fathers unto the prophets." Did their fathers unto the prophets. And I'm running out of time in this little video. But anyway, that last verse talked in relation of the where was it? Luke 6:23, their fathers unto the prophets. Well, it seems a little like Hebrews 1, God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. I mean, here's some interesting things. I'm not reading it in context. Woe unto you, for ye build the sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them. So I'll look at Acts. This is interesting. I will read the whole thing. It clarifies to me who God is in relation to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Jacob. It seems to say his son is Jesus, so we're talking about the same God. I know that sounds a little strange, even blasphemous to say it like that, but I have my reasons for pointing that out. I will just read this verse, Acts 3:13. The God of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the God of our fathers, hath glorified his Son, Jesus, whom ye delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when, I guess, Pilate was determined to let him go. Acts 3:22, Moses had spoke unto the fathers. So who are these fathers? But they seem to have a specific reference. Here's an interesting quote. Now there came a dearth over all the land of Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction, and our fathers found no sustenance. So that story comes up in the Abraham story. Or Moses? Better go do my reading again. And our fathers found no sustenance. I'm tired. Anyway, back to the beginning of Hebrews here. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. Could that be like Moses speaking to the fathers? Anyway, God hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son. I think there was some quotes that made it pretty clear that this is Jesus, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. So Jesus is the heir of all things. Interesting. I don't hear that. Although, I guess, just thinking, by whom also he made the worlds. So did he make the worlds with Jesus? And that's another interesting thing, that is plural. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. He made the worlds. Are these like different generations of worlds, like different time periods of worlds? Or are there more than one world? And is that in a spiritual sense, or is that in a physical sense? How does that map out geographically or spiritually or heavenly? I don't know. Confusing. So I will look at Bible Gateway for this verse. I looked some other words up here first, but Now I'm looking at worlds.
Strong's G165. Ion. Ion.
Ion. Google Translate.
Ion.
Ion. Or like eon. Without reading too much of this, yeah, eon, aeon, same thing. A period of time, age, ages. Oh, I might want to pause and read this. I'm not going to read all of this. So, Jesus, who is appointed the heir of all things, by whom also he made the world. So Jesus has a hand in making the worlds, and the worlds in this case is eons. So Jesus had a hand in making the eons. This is interesting, being made so much better than the angels, as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. And God says that all the angels should worship the Son. This is interesting here. So this is the Father talking. But unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Is he calling his Son God? Who's being called God here? I can't figure that out. Again, this is still the Father talking, saying, Thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. Well, this is the Father talking. Is he not God? And yet he's talking about God, even thy God. And the Lord in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thine hands. Whose hands? Could this be the works of the Son's hands? The Son did create the worlds.